Alright, welcome everybody to another episode of One Take Podcast. This is kind of like a Super Bowl edition because the Super Bowl was literally yesterday and we have a lot to discuss about with all these new movie trailers and such. There was also even a new trailer that premiered this morning, which we will definitely discuss in detail more in one of the questions. Today we actually have a very new guest here today. It's her first time on the channel, and she's been a good friend of mine in the VGA chat that I've always mentioned in the past. Please welcome MissFable. Welcome, Fable.
Hi, thank you for having me.
No problem. I'm sorry for the delays that this has been because I've just been so busy and also sick during this time.
Busy too, honestly, but I'm really happy that we finally
We found a
this.
good time, honestly, because there's a lot of things coming out recently for this.
Yep.
Well, I sent you the questions, and I'm pretty sure you're ready to answer them. You said to me you've taken down notes already. Alright, so the first question I have here is, since the Super Bowl was this weekend, I wanted to ask, do you have a personal favorite trailer that came out of the Super Bowl? Maybe something you didn't like as much? Do you have a what was the trailer that stood out to you the most?
For me, it was for sure Westworld season 2. I'm a huge fan of the show, so I got super excited just seeing an actual trailer of it coming out. The second movie for sure, Avengers, even though it was pretty short, it was just only 30 seconds, but it still got me kind of a little hyped at the same time. And of course, that little sneak peek of Solo, which was, again, really tiny, same as Avengers, but I'd say my top one would be Westworld.
Westworld? Okay, well, that's interesting because I actually didn't have that on my list because I haven't seen most of the first season yet, so I'm still trying to get through it at this point. I think I stopped within the second episode for odd reasons. I don't know why I stopped because it was actually getting really good. So yeah, I'm trying to avoid marketing for season 2 right now so I don't get spoiled for anything else.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think the trailer spoils season 1?
I would say if you have not seen Westworld, or if you do want to check it out, avoid the season 2 trailer for sure, because even if you don't really get it, some scenes will kind of trigger things if you're watching the first season midway and be like, oh, like, I think that's going to happen, and you might figure it out maybe. So I'd say best avoid it until you watch all of season 1, and then you can watch some of the marketing stuff that they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting because like I said, I haven't finished season 1 yet, so I can't really say.
Get on it, it's so good.
Yeah, I know. That Fraser and Becky haven't even seen it yet.
I'm surprised.
I'm
I mean,
surprised
like,
too,
I feel like, yeah, I feel like it would fit their alley, especially, they're really into westerns and things like that, but how about you, though? What were some ones that, like, really, like, you thought were interesting?
So, okay, I said to you before I recorded this that my choice for the best trailer for the Super Bowl might surprise you, and it might even surprise a few people. My personal favorite was honestly Mission Impossible Fallout.
Really?
Yeah, it really got to me because I never. It's funny because this is the 6th Mission Impossible film now. I would have figured we're all tired of it at this point, but I've always liked them to a point. Like, I've always enjoyed them as fun action movies, especially the 4th and 5th one, because they really brought it back with the 4th and 5th one, in my opinion. Because I saw the first one, I liked it. It was a little slow though. I didn't see the second one though, that was directed by John Woo of all people.
Yeah.
Didn't see that one. I saw the third one by J.J. Abrams, which is pretty good as well. I didn't think it was amazing, but I still thought it was pretty good. Then the 4th one by Brad Bird really hit it home for me and really made me more invested into the series now. And then the 5th one by Christopher McQuarrie, who did Jack Reacher with Tom Cruise as well. I thought that one was also as good as the 4th one. So this one, Fallout, is also directed by Christopher McQuarrie. And I honestly, from the trailer, it looks super fun. Like, it looks like a blast. And also Henry Cavill with that mustache.
I know, I was surprised seeing him with the mustache. Like, that's kind of new.
That was also a controversy because you remember, like, he had to do Justice League reshoots, and apparently they had a CGI off the mustache.
Have you seen the photos of like the CGI?
I've
How
seen the
bad it
movie.
looked?
I've seen the movie before
Oh
everybody
god.
else did. I saw a advanced
Mhm.
screening of Justice League,
That's right,
and
you did. Hmm.
man, that mustache! It really took me out of it in some scenes. It's noticeable because it was literally in the beginning scene of Justice League. It was
Hmm.
obviously a reshoot. Like I could tell just from his face. It looks off.
Yeah, I see the movie personally,
Hmm
but I've seen photos and I'm like, oh, it looks so bad. I feel so bad for him.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked terrible in Justice League, but like, I mean, he looks badass in it with Mission Impossible. So,
That's true, he does.
if you
Yeah, I
want me to
mean,
be honest, he pulls punches more in this one than I have seen him as Superman.
oh, I bet. Yeah, I feel like a Man from Uncle. Honestly, if you've seen that
I like the
one,
Man from Uncle too.
I
Yeah,
do too.
it's
Yeah,
funny
me
though.
too.
He's playing spies for different series though.
Yeah, I guess he's good at it. I
I guess
suppose,
so.
but
I guess people want him to. I think I heard like people also want him to be 007 at one point. So
heard about that too.
like he
Yeah,
actually auditioned, but Daniel Craig obviously won it for Casino
right.
Royale.
Hmm. Apparently, I heard that Tom Cruise broke his leg doing one of his stunts
Oh
in
yeah,
it.
they
You heard
showed
about that?
video of
Yeah.
that on Graham Norton's show. It
Yep.
looked painful as hell.
And
Like
they
he,
used that same shot
they
in the
did they
trailer.
did use the same shot. I noticed the foot bending. I was like, oh, but I bet like after that shot they reshot it and then they just made him look
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's crazy to think that Tom Cruise over 50 is still doing his own stunts. And it's
I
like,
mean, yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you saw during the trailer him flying a helicopter or something like that.
Oh,
Like
I saw.
that's
Yeah,
not
I remember
CGI
that.
at all. That's
Oh, it's actually him doing it.
mhm.
It's. I feel so bad for like how much insurance I have to put on him because of like. I just feel so bad for that, like all the studios and everything, because it's like, oh great, he wants to do everything now. He literally broke his leg doing this scene. He might literally kill himself at the next moment. Who
Oh
knows?
my god,
Oh.
yeah. Like, say what you want about Tom Cruise and like his personal life or whatever you will say. You cannot deny though he's really pushing it hard for his work though. Like he
Hmm.
really does try hard for his movies.
He
Um,
honestly wants to, which is cool.
yeah. So yeah, surprisingly, Fallout was my favorite trailer from the Super Bowl because
Same.
I also saw the what was it? Well, it was first the Super Bowl ad, and then they said it was uploaded online the full trailer. So I saw the full trailer, and I thought that was even more badass. So,
Hmm.
yeah, well, you mentioned Avengers earlier. That I mean, obviously, we're all freaking excited for Avengers: Infinity War. Like, who isn't at this point? But at the same time, it didn't really spoil too much, nor did it really say anything new. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just people to get excited for it in the May. So, but yeah, obviously, I'm very excited for Avengers: Infinity War. Um, Solo, we'll get to in a moment because I think that's actually our next question, soon. I actually have a few more to discuss. What did you think of? Did you see the new Jurassic World one?
I did, yes, I
And
did.
what's your opinion on that?
Okay, so I've seen Jurassic World, the first one,
Mm-hmm.
19, and I grew up watching, Jurassic Park. I've been a huge fan of it, like, ever since I was little. And I felt like with Colin, his take on it, it's for sure, it's like, nostalgia, but it's different. And I mean, like, I think after I watched it the second time, I just noticed, like, it's not for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess, like, my nostalgic goggles were on and it didn't connect.
Mm-hmm.
Trailer for the new one, I don't know. I just have so many things like, why are they going back? There's, like, so many questions. I'm like, what's the point of this? What's the point of that? And
Mm-hmm.
hyped as maybe some other people, I guess. I guess at the same time, I don't really care at the same way. I'm just like, whatever, like, kind of feeling with Jurassic World, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
How
I
about you,
mean,
though?
for Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Wait, can I actually stop right here real quick because my dad's calling me right now.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Sorry about that.
All good.
He needs something real quick.
Mhm.
I'm doing a podcast. Sorry about that.
Good.
Yeah, my dad's like doing my tax forms right now, so
Oh.
yeah, because I gave him my W-2s already, so
Oh, really?
yeah. But okay, going back to Jurassic World, my opinion on the trailer itself.
Mhm.
Well, before I say anything about the trailer, I want to also talk about the first Jurassic World myself. I was actually one of the few people that did enjoy it because I did watch Jurassic Park a lot as a child. I may have not been born around that time, but like my dad bought like a DVD trilogy set,
Mhm.
and I watched the shit out of Jurassic World. Like I was into dinosaurs, so it's like so going into Jurassic World, I felt like I was entering a new realm of Jurassic Park in a way.
Mhm.
Like it obviously relied on nostalgia, but it also created something different in a way you could say, but also the same way Jurassic Park is what it is.
Mhm.
Because it's I'll say this, it's not like The Lost World or Part 3 at all because those are completely different movies too in a way. But with
Mhm.
Jurassic World, I it in my opinion, it's at least the best sequel out of the sequels that came out.
Mhm.
Um so with the second one, Fallen Kingdom coming out, um I do I do think it's a weird plot device though what they're going with. It's
Mhm.
like it's like I'm still obviously gonna see it because it's Jurassic Park, but
Mhm.
like I don't know what they're going for here. Like at the same, I will admit the Super Bowl trailer was a bit better than the first ever trailer that came out for it.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I'm still feeling a lot of mixed tones here with Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I don't know exactly why they're going to the island or back and to get the what dinosaurs again. It's like
Yeah.
why are you because Blue is there? It's like what?
I say blue. That's the only reason why.
Say Blue, Blue. He's the one that saved us over I-Rex last time.
Yeah, and the kids aren't coming back because I didn't see them in the
Nope.
trailer. I don't think. Yeah, they're
They're
not coming
they're not
back.
coming back. I looked at the cast list. They're definitely not coming back.
Yeah, new kid, I guess. All
There
right,
is a
like.
new kid. I mean, my theory is
Mhm.
that that kid's their child. Like,
Well, apparently this takes place 4 years after Jurassic World, so she would have to be four, which I don't think
you don't
that's
think
her
she is?
age.
You think
Again,
she's
because I
too?
have
You
to.
think she's older than that?
Yeah, she might be like 7 or 6 or 7 or 8. I have to look at the
Probably.
trailer again. I might be wrong, but.
I don't know, but maybe it is that way. I don't think it's that much of a. I don't think it's that much a time jump as I think it
Mhm.
was, because it still looks the same-ish. They still look the same-ish in a way.
Mhm.
So it's like maybe it is a couple years after. I highly doubt it's a decade after the first one. There's no way.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
from what I know is that Jurassic World 2 is actually going for a more horror approach, from what I heard,
Mhm.
because it is directed by a pretty famous director that did this film recently last year. I think it was called A Monster Calls or something like that.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I heard they're going for a more horror approach, but I'm not really seeing that from these
Well,
trailers.
have you seen A Monster Calls?
I have not, but I heard it's really sad.
It is. I've read the book and I've seen the movie. A Monster Calls is actually it is a sad movie, but it's not really a horror at all. It's more of a slash learning to accept tragedy. It's coming.
Yeah.
Upon you. I don't want to spoil anything. You've never seen it, but It is a good movie, and the book's great to check it out as
Mhm.
well. But I think he's done The Impossible and The Orphanage
He
too.
did do The Orphanage, which is
That
a
makes
horror
sense with
film.
horror. Yeah. I'm curious too, because it does look kind of, again, like you said, a horror-esque, kind of with Jurassic Park, which you kind of, it makes
Mhm.
sense, wild dinosaurs gonna eat you, like, running amok on the island.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, in a way, yeah, but I feel like but also they're not really showing it too much in the trailer, which
No.
I don't know if they're just hiding it from all of us. Like, and if
Mm-hmm.
they are, great. You're not really spoiling anything.
Mm,
But at the same time, I feel like some people won't get what this movie's trying to do.
right.
And look, I'm willing to still see it because it's Jurassic Park, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of tampering my expectations a little bit with this one because
Mm-hmm.
even though I enjoyed World more than others, I'm not sure how this is gonna approach the franchise this time.
Yeah, I agree. I just remember when the first trailer came out, everyone I knew who's seen it, they were just questioning like, why are you going back? Such a dumb idea. So I'm kind of worried about general audience who do see the trailer be like, what's the point, maybe? Or again, they might think, another, fun Jurassic Park movie. Let's go see it, popcorn movie, action, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. But the
Well,
po-
honestly,
but the point of Jurassic World was that it kind of had these characters where the first Jurassic Park I feel like was more of a character piece in a way too
hmm
because it created amazingly written characters all the way through. And the first dinosaur doesn't even appear until like less than an hour in.
hmm
So it's like, I think with the problem people have with World is that there's not a compelling character to connect to as much.
yeah.
Other than I guess Chris Pratt is, but even then he's the action hero. Like so we know probably gonna live.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's my opinion on Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. I'm still seeing it. I mean I work at a movie theater, so I'm pretty sure I get to see it for free. So I'll definitely see
Yeah.
it. Um, but yeah, that's my take on Jurassic World.
hmm
There was another trailer that kind of caught my eye during the Super
hmm
Bowl. I'm still not entirely sure how to feel about it, but I think it looks kind of like dumb fun, and that's the Dwayne Johnson skyscraper.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know. Did you see that one?
Yeah, and I was kind of confused because I kind of heard a bit about it, like just filming wise, and I didn't really think much of it until the trailer came out, and I'm like, oh yeah, that was a thing that's happening. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like it's pretty much The Rock's take on Die Hard in a way,
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I thought.
except
Yeah.
he has one leg.
Yeah, he has one leg.
I didn't expect that, like the prosthetic leg.
Yeah, I didn't either. No.
And
Apparently.
and hey, Nev Campbell's back in that film.
Woo!
I did not expect her to be in it too.
Right, yeah, same.
I don't know, like I feel like it could be fun, but at the same time, I could see people not liking it for being a Die Hard ripoff.
Right.
I mean, this it also has the strangest director attached to it as well. Like the
Yeah.
director did Dodgeball and We're the Millers, and it's like, what the hell?
Big jump.
What a jump to comedy to a serious action film.
Yeah, they also did Easy A too. So again,
Is it
like,
easy, eh?
yeah, apparently they did Easy A.
Wow, what a jump.
So yeah, I'm kind of curious how like the tone of the movie's gonna be because in the trailer it seems like again like an action film.
Hmm.
Like is there gonna be some comedy elements in play? Maybe
I don't
not.
think they will be, but I could see some comedic tones in it, but at the
Mhm.
same time, I don't think it's gonna be that comedic. Like it does seem like it's taking itself seriously.
Mhm.
I mean, come on, the Rock is fucking jumping from from a construction crane to the building,
It was amazing. I was like, oh, okay, that's happening. All right.
but it's so obviously like computer generated in a way.
Right, exactly.
Whereas if you want to go back to Mission Impossible, that was actually Tom Cruise jumping from a building to a
hmm
building, breaking his foot.
Yep, exactly.
So it's like maybe my standard for action films has been a little high
Mm-hmm.
because I mean ever since like movies like Mad Max Fury Road or anything like that has come out, my standards for action films have been really high.
hmm
So with this, it could be fun, like I said, but I'm not expecting a lot to come out of it, honestly.
Oh
Which
yeah, I feel the same way.
which is sad because I like The Rock a lot. But I mean, I'm not really expecting like an Oscar worthy film here.
No, 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 no.
I mean, I am willing to see it for free at my theater.
There you go. Yeah.
But yeah,
Check it out if it's on.
yep. All right. Well, before we talk about the last trailer I wanted to talk about here, I am gonna have to jump to the bathroom real quick because I drank a lot of water.
Sounds good.
So if you need to go get something as well, you're free too.
Okay. I'll stretch.
I'm back.
Hello.
Alright. The last trailer I want to talk about that was premiered at the Super Bowl was probably the biggest surprise to pretty much everybody here. The Cloverfield Paradox.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have seen the movie already. But before I say a little bit of my thoughts, what did you think of the trailer for Paradox?
The first thing I was surprised about was the cast because I didn't know that some of them were going to be in it, like David Oello or Chris O'Dowd.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, that's really cool. They're in it. And then again after like, oh, it's on Netflix. Like immediately after the Super Bowl, which I'm like, oh, what? You can see it now? That's cool. Um, Other than that, though, I do want to check it out. I'm just really fascinated about like what are they going to explore? Are they going to explore the first film because it did show clips from the first film? Are they explore anything to do with like the one that came out recently, 10 Cloverfield Lane?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious what you think about what you thought of the film.
Oh, but before I give my thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
what did you think of the first two Cloverfield films?
I remember when I saw it, I thought it was like because the first one came out I think in 2006. Wasn't
2008.
wait, okay, what's 2008? I remember thinking this is new, this is fresh. I just remember some people were like, I don't like it, like they weren't for it, but I was like, I like this. It was like different, new. I thought it was interesting. It came out though recently. I loved it a lot. I thought it was a really great film.
And 10 Cloverfield Lane?
10th Cloverfield Lane. I thought it was a great film, especially if again it has nothing to do like with the characters from the first one, because again it's its own separate story, but still it's in a Cloverfield like universe.
Mm-hmm.
I think John Goodman was fantastic. So was Mary Elizabeth Winstein as well.
Mm-hmm.
But this one though, again, I haven't seen it yet, so I'm hoping if it's good, like definitely check it out. If there's like some issues, I'll be like, oh no, kind of thing. So the first two that came out before.
Yeah. Before I give a little bit of a non-spoiler thought of Cloverfield Paradox, I did enjoy the first Cloverfield when it came out. I know people, like you said, weren't a big fan of it, of
Hmm.
like the shaky cam as well. Like
Right. Yep.
some people weren't into found footage films at the time. I still
Hmm.
think some people aren't into them today.
Hmm.
But Cloverfield really gave it a new spin, I feel. And also it was one of the few movies that I actually kind of felt intense by,
Hmm.
because it felt, even though it was a monster, it felt kind of real in a way, because it's by a person's perspective in a camera.
Right.
So
Yep.
it's like, holy shit, this is all happening at once. But 10 Cloverfield Lane I felt was a fantastic contained thriller.
Hmm.
Like like you said, amazing performances by John Goodman and Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Hmm.
And also the pacing of it alone was also great. And the editing and like the cinematography, everything about that film was just great to me. I know some people didn't like the ending as much, but I didn't. I thought it fitted just fine since it is in the Cloverfield universe in a way.
Right.
Now, with Cloverfield Paradox,
Oh. Oh no.
you may you may be able to tell from my voice here.
Hmm.
It was a little disappointing.
Was it?
Yeah. What made it really hard for me with Cloverfield Paradox was that the first half was actually really good for Paradox. Then it kind of switches a little bit of gears toward the second half of the movie, and it kind of shot itself in its own foot,
Oh, okay.
which is kind of sad because it was, which is sad because it was such a surprise to see that a Cloverfield movie was coming to Netflix. Not only that, but it was also coming right after the game.
Right.
So it was like, holy shit! I have something to do when I come home from work. I can watch a Cloverfield movie finally.
Hmm.
And I don't know, man. Like, I'd still say you should see it just to see how you
Hmm.
feel about it.
Hmm.
But in my opinion, I could have been better.
Okay.
Which is sad because the cast was also pretty great in what they did and what they had to work with. David Oyelowo, freaking Chris O'Dowd. Yeah, the cast was just so good. And it was disappointing to see like what happened with the end result.
Hmm.
And I know I heard from what I heard that they actually had test screenings before this, and apparently the test screenings were bad too.
Oh,
So
really?
they had to do actually a lot of reshoots with it. So it definitely
Did
didn't.
you
What happened?
the issue of the script maybe? Like, do you think like they should have tightened things up or maybe elaborated
Maybe
more?
yeah. Maybe there were too many cooks in the kitchen. I don't know, but
Hmm.
it was just poorly executed in a lot of ways, which sucks.
See? Yeah, that does suck. Yeah.
I don't want to say too much because if I do, that would be really big spoiler territory.
Mm, okay.
But I still say you should probably check it out in your own terms, like
Hmm.
whenever you want to see it.
Hmm.
Just just maybe lower those expectations a bit.
To know.
Yeah, which sucks because the first two Cloverfields were very good, and there
Hmm.
is actually a fourth Cloverfield movie coming this year.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Mm-hmm. Which
I'm
is
curious.
which is kind of crazy if you think about it.
Yeah.
It's like Paramount's pumping all these Cloverfield movies all of a sudden.
All of a sudden, yeah.
What I think of Cloverfield though is it's kind of like an anthology in a way. You don't have to watch the other ones in order to
Hmm.
get what's happening,
Yeah,
but
I agree.
it would be nice if you did.
Right.
And Paradox definitely does connect to the previous ones,
Hmm.
just in a weird way though, that you'll probably
Okay.
see.
It's interesting because with the Cloverfield like franchise, it's a lot of things too, like behind the scenes. I remember when the first movie came out, you could go on some websites and then you could piece things together about the lore of Cloverfield and like kind of where came from, what's going on with this world, like all these little things. I remember I've seen like a YouTube video about it, and it's super fascinating because again, you don't get this through the movie, but
Hmm.
you know you kind of have to figure it out yourself. Your like searches on the internet and like finding all these little things here and there. So I'm curious if this goes into some of the things that like people found out in like '08, I think, or '09 and stuff. I'm not sure, but
I'm
if
keep
that does
I'm
happen.
keeping my mouth zipped
Okay.
until you see it.
Okay, sounds good.
But yeah, but Cloverfield Paradox. I will say this though, for the Cloverfield franchise as a whole, the for marketing for all the films they've done has been brilliant.
Hmm.
Like Cloverfield with its ambiguous trailer and websites, 10
Hmm.
Cloverfield Lane having a surprise trailer that and the movie was coming 2 months from that trailer,
Yeah.
and then
Hmm.
now Cloverfield Paradox premiering a first ever trailer at the Super Bowl and
Hmm.
actually launching on Netflix the same night. That's
Hmm.
kind of crazy what they're doing.
Yeah. Hmm.
But did you also hear though that Annihilation, that Natalie Portman movie, is going to Netflix?
Yeah, I did recently. Yeah.
It's kind of sad though, because from what I heard from test screenings, people thought it was a little too um complex or confusing in a way.
Right.
But because they really, I heard they actually did accurately follow the book from what I heard.
Hmm.
But I guess the studio didn't like that it wouldn't follow mainstream audiences, so
Right. Yeah.
which kind of sucks because the director doesn't want to change anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I think we covered everything with Super Bowl that were major, right?
I think so. I guess one little thing. Did you see the Dundee like little?
Oh,
I was like wondering what you thought about that.
oh, when I saw the trailers popping up for the first time before the Super Bowl,
Hmm.
I thought it was actually kind of gonna be real in a way. I kind of
Hmm.
wanted it to be real because it looked kind of funny.
Right.
Like and that cast too, with who they got, it was just
And a Russell
impressive.
Crowe, like
Danny
all,
McBride, Chris Hemsworth, Margot Robbie.
Liam Hemsworth, Hugh Jackman,
My
like
God, what a freaking cast!
Ruby Rose, like oh my gosh.
But it was an Australian tourism ad, so
Literally, yeah. Exactly.
one of the turbos talked to me about it personally, and he was so mad, like that wasn't real.
Oh.
He was sad.
Just imagine if it was real though. Like
I
what
would
kind
have
of movie
seen
it
it.
would be.
I would have seen it. I don't care. It looked funny.
That's a good cast. I mean, hey.
It does have a good cast.
Mm.
But yeah, is that all you had to say for the Super Bowl?
So yeah, for me personally, yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, we pretty much hit the mark with everything, except for one more thing, which actually leads on to the next question.
Woo.
We finally have our first trailer for Solo: A Star Wars Story.
Woo.
Finally today they released the full trailer with yesterday with a little TV spot announcing the trailer is coming today.
Hmm.
And I bet there's a lot of mixed results with this thing.
From what I've noticed, yeah, some people have mixed feelings on it.
Now, I did see it a couple times
Mhm.
actually just to analyze it.
Same.
What did you think of Solo: A Star Wars Story trailer?
Well, that's the thing. Just looking at the trailer itself, I'm really fascinated by the cinematography. I think it looked really beautiful, some of the shots that they've done.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it makes me, in the beginning, before I seen the trailer, I was a bit worried for Solo because of some of the things going on with it and other stuff. But after seeing the trailer, I'm like, oh, it's kind of getting me a little excited. Like, I love Donald Glover. He looked great as Lando.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said before, with all the production problems it had, with the firing of Lord and Miller,
Mm-hmm.
and with Ron Howard coming in,
Mm-hmm.
it definitely was shaping to be a disastrous production. in a
Yeah,
way.
I mean, like all this, the rumors coming out about like what was happening and like with Lawrence Kasdan and like it was just so much stuff that made you really worried about like is the film gonna be okay? Like they had to do many reshoots, they had to get like um a like acting coach and a acting coach at the last minute and stuff like and a lot of people were worried about what's his name? Um
Hmm.
Alden Ehrenreich.
Alden
Yes, Alden Ehrenreich.
Ehrenreich, is that how you pronounce his
Yeah,
name?
I think so. It's so hard saying his last name, but his first name's Alden. I'll say
Yeah, yeah.
that.
Alden is that's easy. That was I looked up his name and I was like trying to pronounce it and I could not do shit.
Right. I was like, oh, this is gonna be hard. But Alden, a lot of people were worried about him.
Yeah,
First time he was cast, a lot of people were like, he's too short for to be on Solo, and that made me laugh so hard
I
because
know.
9 and Harrison Ford's like over 6 foot. Other people were talking about. I don't know if you know this guy, Anthony Ingruber. He's an actor, but he does an amazing Harrison Ford impression, and
Yes,
yeah,
I saw that YouTube video.
yeah, and he was in the movie Age of Adeline,
Mm-hmm.
where he played a young Harrison Ford.
Why did they just cast
Heard-
him?
I know, right? I remember at the time when they were doing casting for Solo, everyone was like saying, "Oh, it should definitely be Anthony.
Get Anthony. Get
He does an
Anthony.
amazing." Ford too, like a younger Harrison Ford, it would have been perfect, but
They cast.
I don't know.
They cast this guy. He was from Hail Caesar, apparently, the Coen Brothers
He
movie.
was actually really funny in Hail Caesar.
I didn't see it, but I'm just taking it off just of that because that's the only thing I've heard he's in.
He was also in this like teen, like young adult teen movie, Beautiful Creatures. I remember that's the first one
Oh, yes, I
I
heard. I know that one too. I haven't seen it though.
I haven't seen it either, so I don't know. But I remember he was in Hail Caesar. He was really funny. He was also in Rules Don't Apply. I haven't seen that one, but I heard it was good.
Hmm. Yeah. Going to the trailer though for Solo Star Wars Story, I
Mhm.
was worried.
Yeah.
I was like, is this gonna be good? Is it gonna be bad? I don't know what to expect. Let's just watch.
Hmm.
Let's just watch how it goes. And to, I'm gonna give an honest opinion here. I do think it could be fun.
Hmm.
I do have my gripes though with it.
Yeah.
I definitely do. The one thing I don't have a gripe with is the visual style they're going with.
Same.
It definitely looks
Hmm.
pretty. The main problem I'm facing with though is honestly is the actor who's playing Han Solo. Because to me he doesn't scream Han Solo to me.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have the voice nor does he have the quips or the sarcastic tone he has.
I the second time I saw the trailer, I heard a little bit of the sarcasm, but I agree. It's not as like you would think of, Han Solo from like the originals.
It's not Harrison Ford
There.
from A New Hope.
It's not. And I heard that they had an acting coach last minute because there was issues with his acting apparently when they were doing reshoots with Ron Howard. I'm not sure if that's true or not. That's just one of the rumors I heard. So
Well, if it is true, that's not good.
exactly, yeah. This makes me
That's
even more worried about like it's Han Solo, the main, it's
it's
movie.
the main rebel we care about.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, but with this, it's like I don't know, something about him just doesn't scream Han Solo to me. And it's like that's
Oh.
the main problem I'm facing with because it's about him. Though
I
I'm.
just remember
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I just remember people after seeing the trailer, everyone's like, we should have just gone a Lando movie of all things. Like, I don't want a
Honestly,
Han Solo movie. Can we just have a Lando movie?
I think we know enough about Han Solo at this point. It's like, can we just, we don't really know too much about Lando.
Exactly.
And but I will say Donald Glover as Lando, it's great. I'm excited for him alone.
I'm super excited. Yep.
And Emilia Clarke and Woody Harrelson are in it too, apparently.
Yeah, and their names recently came out for Emilia Clarke. I think the name is pronounced Kira. It's
Mhm.
Qira. I
Mhm.
don't know if I'm saying it right because I haven't seen anyone pronounce the name yet.
Mhm.
This is Tobias Beckett.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious about Amelia Clark's character and Woody Harrelson's, like, who they are, what's their story, and like why do they want to all join together, to do this kind of like Ocean's 11 kind of thing.
But the thing is, though, is that with this, we already know how it's gonna end.
Yeah.
He's gonna be in Mos Eisley with Chewie. He's gonna own the Millennium Falcon.
Mhm.
He's gonna meet Luke and Obi-Wan, and then there's Star Wars.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
And
what I'm facing with a problem is that there's really gonna be no dramatic tension. I feel.
oh,
What'd you say again?
I said exactly. Like I totally agree with you. Like
I mean,
end of the movie. Like
I know,
what's
I know, Emilia Clarke and Woody Harrelson's characters are not in the original, so
hmm
what? What's I like I said, I don't really see an entire point of making a Han Solo movie personally.
hmm
I would have much rather seen a Boba Fett or Obi-Wan movie more than Han Solo personally.
I agree with you. I mean, the first time when they announced they're wanting to do a solo movie, I was just like, nope, I'm not for it. So like, I rather see like a Kenobi or like, you know, I remember even thinking before too, like, why can't we just see Lando? And again, everyone's been saying that ever since.
Mm-hmm.
Han Solo, we kind of already know his story. I mean, yeah, sure, we don't is younger, like as much as that story, I guess. But to me, at the same time, like ambiguous kind of part of that, because he's a scoundrel. It's kind of like, ooh, it's kind of a little dangerous and kind of a little, not safe for kids kind of thing because of Star Wars in a sense. You
Mm-hmm.
get that feeling from him.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it's some it's I mean I'm pretty sure we're all gonna see Solo Star Wars story
Yeah.
because it's Star Wars. I'm just not like as excited as I am with, say, like I don't know, Force Awakens, Last Jedi to a
Right.
certain extent,
Yeah.
and even Rogue One. Like Rogue One, was a more interesting prequel than I feel with Han Solo.
Right.
Without having seen Han Solo, of course, I mean I can't really say much about Han Solo yet.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm still worried that maybe the production disaster might have affected too much of this film.
hmm
And that's what makes me very, very worried about it. It's like okay, we have this story, but there's really no payoff at the end though, because we know what's gonna happen.
hmm
I have a feeling the movie is gonna end with him and Mos Eisley be waiting to meet with Luke and Obi-Wan.
Oh, you think so? Hmm.
Maybe. I mean, who knows?
I have a feeling it'll be like them and the Millennium Falcon. Like, let's go to our next,
Where do we go to next? Mos Eisley.
yeah, like that's what I think about. Hey, maybe it might end like right before New Hope. That would be interesting. 'Cause just like with Rogue One, like how they ended, right before
Mm-hmm.
the beginning of New Hope. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe.
It's just crazy too. It's like we finally have a trailer that's the movie's out in 3 months, and we
Yeah.
finally have a trailer. And it's like, where did you come from all of a sudden?
And that's what I'm kind of worried about too, because again, marketing wise, like usually what you kind of notice with Disney and with, the previous film they did with Star Wars, they start marketing like way ahead of
They
time,
start like a
typically.
year before it comes out.
Yeah, typically, or like almost a year. But with this one's like, oh, it's coming out really soon, guys, just so you
It's
know.
coming out in May. So
It's kind of, I don't know.
it makes me worried that Disney's not confident with this one.
I think so too. I have that same feeling.
It's like, why start the marketing now, where you could have done it like maybe even half a year before release?
Be honest, it could be maybe like editing and like reshoots and like all that stuff that like maybe they didn't feel confident enough to actually show anything, maybe.
I don't think so
I,
either. But that's what is worrying.
yeah.
I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see how Solo Star Wars story is, because I do think there's some good that could be presented here. Like Ron Howard is a good director, don't get me
Right.
wrong, and I do like some of the casting choices, especially with Donald Glover as Lando.
hmm
But It's just that all the production disaster it had, and I'm still not a big fan of the actor who's playing Han Solo.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not as excited as I am with the previous Star Wars films that have come out recently.
Mhm.
But I'm still willing to see it. I'm sure it will be a fun time still at the movies.
Mhm.
But I'm not really expecting much from it.
Right. The same.
But yeah, Star Wars Story hits May 25th, I believe. Yeah, I because
So,
that's what they said, I think, right?
I think so from what I remember, yeah, May 25th.
Yeah, but it's going up against Avengers that month too, so
So it's like Avengers or Han Solo?
do I see Han Solo or do I see Avengers twice, or maybe even four times at that
Four
point?
times maybe.
Uh, we'll see. I mean, well, for one thing, Disney's the winner here for May, though.
Yeah, it's true.
Disney's the real winner this year. All right, well, I think that pretty much ends our discussion for Solo Star Wars Story, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. So our next question here is, there's a lot of games coming out this year that are
Yeah.
announced. Is
Hmm.
there any in particular that you're excited for?
There's like you said, there's so many games coming out this year. It's kind of like for sure Red Dead. That's a big one for me. I'm really fascinated with Detroit. I played a bit of the demo when I was at PAX West,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm really kind of excited to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at my list. I wrote a lot of things down. Last of Us 2, well, Last of Us Part
If
2.
that comes out this year.
If that, yes, exactly. If that comes out this year, I'm hoping, but we'll probably not. Who knows? Um, and bikes. I helped kickstart that. Like, I helped donate to the Kickstarter. I'm really excited for that to come out. Um, Spider-Man, yeah, I wrote that down too. I forgot Spider-Man's coming out this
Spider-Man
year.
is coming out this
Yay.
year, the PS4 exclusive.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Wonder Song. That's another one that I helped kickstart.
Mm-hmm.
That's a super fun one as well. Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. That's a really cool indie game. I checked that out at PAX. Those are the ones I wrote down so far. I bet there's tons of other ones too,
There's
but
a
those.
lot.
Oh, God of War. I forgot about that.
Yep, God of War 420.
Okay, yeah. There's so many games. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
There's a lot coming out. I mean, there's a lot to get excited for, though.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, for me, it had my big one that I'm just like I
Mhm.
have to get day one as soon as
Mhm.
possible. Red Dead Redemption 2. Like it's a given because I absolutely love the first one. It's one of my top favorite games of all time. Rockstar hasn't really let me down lately.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I mean, I would love. Yeah, it's obvious. Come on, Red Dead 2.
It's
Like
Red Dead
come on.
2.
Like even Fraser from VGA said it's his most anticipated this year.
Yeah, and I agree with him. I same as you. I remember playing it the first time it came out, and I just got so obsessed with it. And I have so many great memories playing it with my friends, and it is like one of my top games. After to make the list, it's one of the top 10, I would say, for me
Mm-hmm.
personally. So I'm just like, yes, I need this game right now. I'm so excited.
Yeah, and that was a special game for me because it was a gift to me when I graduated sixth grade.
Oh,
Where an M-rated game for me when I graduated sixth
when you're
grade.
sixth grade.
My parents were being questioned. Are you sure you want to buy this for your child? Yes, please. I couldn't stop
Yes,
playing
I
it
need
though.
it.
I couldn't stop playing it. It was too good.
Yeah.
And also, honorable, other mentions for me
Mhm.
that I do also plan getting this year. God of War, obviously, because I haven't really played a God of War, but this one is somewhat appealing to me more than the others I have.
Mhm. Yeah, same.
It reminds me of Last of Us meets God of War in a way.
Yeah, kinda.
Because I feel like with the previous God of War games, it's all about hack and slash, whereas this one I feel is a more story-driven one.
Yeah, I agree.
Another one I actually played at E3 last year.
Mhm.
Um, I have Far Cry 5, which I am actually pretty interested in that one.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to see what this story is going to be like since it's in a city instead of like a tropical island or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And you get to create a character for this one, so yeah, I'm really excited for this Far Cry. I hope it's good. The last one kind of disappointed me in a way.
Mm,
Not Far Cry 4. It had some fun things, but the story was a little disappointing.
right.
But yeah, Far Cry 5. I hope that's really good. Pretty sure there's more. I played this at PAX South. It was Just Shapes and Beats.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's
That's
actually made by Turbo, I believe, right?
It was, yeah. Turbo is part of it, yeah.
Yeah. I played that because I didn't really play that much, honestly, at PAX South. But I saw that one because I heard from others that it was made by Turbo. I was like, oh, maybe I should give it a go because I'm willing to support VGA Turbos that made games. And let me tell you, it was hard as balls.
Yeah, it's funny because it's always at every PAX. You know that just Shapes and Beats is always going to be there. Plus, you could hear the music. So,
But it's
all the
so
PAX
good.
it is so good. And you're like, I want it now because it's always there at PAX. So you always wonder,
When's it coming out?
When's it coming
They
out?
said this year, so when I asked them,
Right. And you're like, yes, it is confirmed this year.
good, because I do want to play it when it comes out. Did they say any consoles though for it or no? Or
I don't remember, honestly.
I know it's on PC. It's coming to PC. I'm not sure. I honestly wouldn't mind playing on Switch though. Like, it would be
Oh my
kind of
gosh,
fun
on Switch. Ooh, that'd be intense.
Playing it with friends on the go. Oh my goodness, that would be the most intense game of Shapes and Beats.
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot more games that I'm excited for. Like, I think you mentioned Detroit. That it looks interesting. I'm not like overly excited for it because I was disappointed by Beyond Two Souls, his previous game. Like I just thought it was pretentious as all hell. So
I think just playing the demo made me be like, oh, this is really fascinating. Just played at PAX West is the same one that you saw on PlayStation Experience with Daniel and like him trying to save the little girl. It's the same thing. And I played it with another Turbo, War. We were side by side playing it, and we both had experiences, even though we were playing the same thing. It was super fascinating. So I'm kind of curious, like, how the game is going to, be portrayed like throughout the whole story. If it's going to be like this, if it's going to go downhill like Beyond Two Souls. But you never know, honestly.
You never know. I mean, I do think it's going to be really good. I'm just not overly excited as some people are because it's like it looks good and I am willing to play it. But I still have my doubts because of Beyond Two Souls.
Right? I feel like it's still there. Like I feel it too. I agree.
This David Cage-ness all over it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I question that guy.
I do too, honestly. I think we all do.
Yeah, honestly. I'm pretty sure there's a lot more games coming out that are pretty major.
There's like Dreams. That's coming out.
Yes.
Oh my god.
You have no idea how many turbos are excited for that game.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Especially Rad Laddie. He always mentions Dreams.
Aww.
he's really excited for it. I'm excited too in a way because I like art. I can be very artistic a lot. And I wonder though, is it compatible with the Move controllers? Because I do have the Move controllers, and it does seem like in a way it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I've seen people.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that seemed like it would be a proper way to play it in a way.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, or to how that would feel compared to like the Move controllers. Like, what's the difference? Like, feeling wise. But I remembered, there's like lots of videos that the developers showing like them actually like playing the game and creating stuff, and a lot of times they're using the Move controllers.
Yeah. Yeah, I am looking forward to that actually. That it looks neat, and it is by Media Molecule of all people, so
Right. Yep.
that excites me too. I'm pretty sure there's a lot more coming out this year. Yeah, Spider-Man. Spider-Man I am also really excited for. Spider-Man looks really good. It's by Insomniac, of all people, who did Sunset Overdrive, which I absolutely loved. And apparently they're using a modified engine from Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, they are.
Which is good, because Sunset Overdrive, like what Fraser said in a live stream, it felt like a Spider-Man game.
Yeah, I remember him saying that.
Which makes me happy that actually Insomniac is doing this one.
And people have been comparing the to Spider-Man to the Batman Arkham series, I think because of the fighting style and things like that. So if you really into the fighting style that is in the Arkham series, Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think the Arkham style is a really good fighting style anyway, so hey, go for it.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. I think I think we hit most of the major titles, right?
I think, yeah, for the big, like, AAA, yeah. And again, there's so many indies. Like, there's so many indies.
Too
like,
many.
to check out. Sure. Too many. I named some.
I named one. That was it. I just named one. I don't really play indies as much, but, like, I do appreciate them, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a lot of good games to look forward to. Hopefully at this year's E3 we'll see a lot more from all these companies.
Huh.
I kind of hope it's open to the public again, but at the same time I also hope not. Because when I went last year during the public showing of E3,
right,
man was it crowded. Man, did I just feel cramped up. Like if you think I don't think PAX South was crowded at all. There's so much free space in PAX South that I felt like I had a lot of breathing room.
Oh yeah, I agree. PAX South is nothing. I think the only thing that was crazy for me ever is PAX West. That's the PAX everyone goes to. That's the most busiest and crowdedest.
Imagine that with
I don't
E3.
know. Yeah, I bet E3 is probably worse. I'm not sure, honestly. But...
I felt too crowded. And the lines were ridiculously long for games.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I had to wait 4 hours for Call of Duty World War II.
West line, kinda.
I know. I hated being in that line. Though, I didn't wait too long for Super Mario Odyssey, though, surprisingly.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, there's a lot to look forward to this year. I mean, I think we pretty much hit the nail on that one, right?
I think so.
Yeah. But I believe our next question is, I've actually wanted to do this for a long time with you because we discussed this at PAX. Yeah, it's our discussion of Last Jedi, right?
Yes.
Before I do that, I'm gonna grab some water because I'm dying in here. If you want to as well, because I have a lot to talk about this movie, so.
I do too.
So I'll be right back.
Okay, sounds good.
I am back with water now.
Yeah.
Did you grab any water or anything like that too?
Yeah, I have water next to me. I had some water,
Wait, hold up. Quasi's typing in here.
Oh, he is? Oh, let me see.
What are you doing?
Oh.
I'm gonna type in Last Jedi discussion if you want to join. Can't.
Can't
I'm at
send
work.
that
Well, why did you type that then?
Yeah.
Now I'm just wondering what Quasi's gonna say next.
Oh.
Oh, get.
Give him hell.
Okay. Okay. Wow. The thumbs up.
I'll type in.
We just paused real quick because there's some activity going on in the Discord chat.
Refuse to answer question after the memories.
Oh my god. Shut the hell up. Hey, Quasi. Ah.
I feel so bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we need to discuss this Last Jedi thing right now.
I mean, yeah, that's true. So many things to discuss about it.
There's a lot to discuss about it.
Yes.
But yeah, this was really long overdue for this because I've always wanted to talk about it on my podcast. We talked about talking about it on here.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've seen it twice already in theaters. I saw it once with my family. Saw it again with friends since I work at a movie theater for free. So we couldn't see it for a month though because we were blocked by Disney.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
I went to a different theater to see it at.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I saw it twice. I have a lot to say still about it. But what was your opinion on Last Jedi?
So for me going in, I have actually seen it 3 times. And
Hardcore?
you know, right, hardcore. I know. I was going to see a 4th time here
Oof,
at the
oof.
Alamo, but then again, time issues, if have you.
Mhm.
But in my personal opinion, the first time I saw it, I loved it. I really liked it. I liked the direction it was going, especially with Brian.
Mhm.
Second and third time, I noticed a lot more details, things and nuances with the characters with Kylo and Rey, and like all these little things. And I remember I took in a lot of people's critiques on it,
Mhm.
avoiding the like fanboys like chaos thing that happened in December at the time, but listening to more critique
Mhm.
of the movie. And I kind of agree with some things, and I feel like with others, you know, I can disagree with it. But overall, though, I really enjoyed the film. I thought it was a great continuation from The Force Awakens, especially going with the theme of, in my personal opinion, with Kylo and Rey. Both of them, you know, they both realize they can, in the end of the day, bring a balance in some way. In the end, though, they kind of notice, like, join me, Ray. Like, let's rule the galaxy. And she's like, no, like, let's not do that. I think in the end, in the next film coming in, we're going to see more of a balance coming forth, possibly, or at least more into the light, you know, becoming Ben and coming into the light more.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's a family movie, guys. Like, and I know some people are really like, oh, fuck Kylo Ren, Sorry, I don't know if I can swear or not.
No. It's cool. I've sweared a lot of times here.
Okay. But all this bullshit about calling him, like, you know, he's just, you know, I hate him, he's a, you know, blah, 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 baby, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you guys, you really gotta analyze the character, really see what Adam Driver and, like, you know, Ryan Johnson are really putting forth with the character. Like, there's so many nuances you could really see. And I feel like, again, watching it a second or third time, you could really see it. And especially, too, like, there's so many other characters, like, you know, like, Rose and, like, you know, stories with Poe and Finn, and like there's so many things happening, but at the end of the day, though, the film I thought was good. There's some things here and there that could have been, like, you know, could have been better, could have been fixed, but I thought overall, I'm hoping that is originals that, you know, some people didn't really like Empire Strikes Back at all, but then over time people are like, oh man, it's like one of the best. I'm hoping this is going to be the case for Last Jedi, but who knows? We'll see.
Who knows?
What are your thoughts, though?
I was a little more mixed on it than you were.
Hmm.
On one hand, there were some amazingly well done scenes in this film. Like,
Hmm.
amazing. Like, I would say to the point where, oh my god, this is some of the best scenes I've seen in a Star Wars movie ever.
Hmm.
It was so good.
Hmm.
Then you get to the other half of my spectrum, where it's like, where there were some scenes where I was just like, what?
Yeah.
Look, I seeing it of the first time, I was honestly a little disappointed with it because
Hmm.
I expected more from it. I felt like that a lot happened, but nothing happened at the same time.
Mm.
And it's interesting to say that because it's an interesting way of saying things. It's like I don't usually say that with a lot of movies per se,
Right.
but with this case, it's like I expected more, and I did get
Hmm.
that, but I felt nothing.
Hmm.
Like I felt like there wasn't any like resolution to a lot of the questions they asked from Force Awakens, and it felt like it was falling flat on its own feet. It was
Hmm.
like I said, there were some amazing scenes that I absolutely enjoyed from it.
Hmm.
Like as I'm pretty sure we can go into spoilers with this since the movie's been out for 2 months now. Like at this point,
Right.
but yeah, a scene in particular that I thought was amazingly well done was when Kylo Ren and Rey fought with each other against Snoke's guards, I think.
Praetorian guards. Yep.
Hmm. Like that was some beautiful imagery that I saw throughout that scene, and also,
Apparently, that was
it,
supposed to be 13 minutes long, apparently, but they had to cut it down because the movie was like already long enough. So they did all that in 13 minutes originally.
give me the 13-minute cut. I want to see that 13-minute
Right.
cut. Give
Exactly.
me.
Oh.
Another scene that I thought was amazingly beautiful was when Holdo
Mm.
uh, space jumps into the Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, that's a way of going out. Though, and like I said, I still seeing it the second time. I enjoyed it a little bit more, seeing how the themes were and connecting everything. It's just that with some of the flaws I had, I still felt like it was still glaring towards me, like with how they answered to Ray's parents and stuff like that. Like I felt it wasn't that satisfactory in a way. I know some people defend that, but it's like in my opinion, I don't think it was that great of a reveal.
I think that's the point, though. Why should it be a great reveal, though? Like, why should we care who her parents are in the end of the day? Daisy
Because
Ridley said this previously, too. It's just like, honestly, because, I feel so bad for Daisy. She gets, previously before Last Jedi came out, so many questions like, raise parents. But she's like,
I can't answer.
hey, like, well, not that, but it's like, what's the point? It's not like a,
It's,
Luke
so
Skywalker finding out, like,
that's his
I'm your father
daughter.
moment. Or no, like, in the original, it was like Luke Skywalker finding out, oh no, like, you're my father kind of thing, like the iconic moment. It's like, you're not going to get that in
Hmm.
this, trilogy. Like, I'm sorry, guys. Like,
Sorry to disappoint.
and yeah, she was at a, like, in The Force Awakens, you could tell who her family are. And then the first trailer that ever came out was the first, but, like, when Maz asked her, who are you? She's like, I'm no one.
Hmm.
It's a no one. Because you got to think in the perspective of it's a Skywalker story. And at the end of the day, because I know that a lot of people were upset that like I don't want Kylo Ren to be the only Skywalker. It's like guys, like he is, and that's okay. And it's okay that Rey is a nobody. Before I was on the bandwagon of her being a Kenobi, but the more I thought about it, it made sense for her to be just a no one, just a girl thrust into the situation of everything.
Hmm.
I don't know. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I just liked how Kylo Ren delivered that line. You're nobody.
Not to
You're,
me, and you're like, ah! I just remember freaking out when he said that. Not
you're,
to me, and I'm like,
your parents sold you for money.
money, yeah, for drinking money. Like, And honestly, like if you, it makes it's just like the reversed. A lot of people compare Kylo Ren and Rey to like Padme and Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
Anakin came from, he, was a slave. He came from nothing. All this stuff. In a sense, if you think about it, she, came from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And Jakku waiting for a family that, in the end of the day, they're not coming back. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of things that you could really see similarities to, like, the prequels to this trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan Johnson did talk about that a bit more as well, but you could really see, I think, similarities to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what was I gonna say? I mean, yeah, I just don't, what I don't like, though, is that,
Mm-hmm.
um, well, not related to the movie, really, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't like how fans have to attack Rian Johnson for this. It's like,
Yeah.
give I may have not liked the movie as much as some people did, but I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
attack the director just because he did his job. So
Honestly, yeah. I mean, that's the saddest thing about fandoms and stuff.
they
You
really
see,
will destroy you if you screw something with them.
the negative side of it. It's so disgusting. But if you see Ryan Johnson's replies on
They're great.
Twitter,
They're also really
they're
great.
amazing.
There's
They're
this.
so
There's this.
good, and Mhm.
I think he posted on Twitter like there's this guy that was complaining, "Oh, Luke can't have a hologram. That's impossible." And then he
Oh
pulls out
yeah,
the book of Jedi.
that was amazing. And the last post he did was like the Simpsons gif of like back into the bushes.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah, I just hate how he has to defend himself though from all these fans. It's like, I get you may have not liked it, and you could have voiced your opinion on that, like I'm doing right now, but you don't
Mhm.
have to attack the guy. Like, come on.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, it's totally fine to critique a film and like that, but not to this point of like you know Twitter saying all this shit to them and stuff. It's like, come on, guys, like that's to yourselves. Like, how old are you? What? Okay, cool.
Hmm.
Awesome. So you don't act your age. That's great.
And people are immature these days with fandoms and stuff like that.
I
Like,
agree.
did you hear like my coworker actually told me this at work, saying, "Oh, did you hear that some DC fans are gonna downvote Black Panther on Rotten Tomatoes user
I
score?"
heard about that.
And
Yeah.
it's like, why?
Hmm.
Talk about being salty, like just
Yep.
because you hate Marvel, like.
Yeah, exactly.
Why can't we just all get along? You could like DC, you could like Marvel. Like, what's the problem?
Hmm.
Not every franchise in Marvel and DC is perfect either. I'm not saying
Mhm.
like Marvel's perfect all the time, but
Mhm.
DC ain't so perfect either. Like, let's just say
Right.
that.
But hurt fans wanting
I
to do crazy shit
I'm
like
telling
this.
you, it's there. People are crazy with fandoms sometimes.
It's sad, and
It
yeah.
it is sad, but we live
Mhm.
in the age of internet, so like, what else can we do about it?
It's true, honestly, yeah. It is true.
Like, it's gonna happen one way or the other.
Hmm.
What else was I? But yeah, going back to Last Jedi, I know a lot of people also took issue with the portrayal of Luke in this one.
Yes.
But how did you feel about that? About Luke?
I personally feel like, yeah, I know a lot of people had these, expectations. That's the saddest thing with things like Star Wars, and like it had its own expanded universe before, like, this trilogy that came out, and like we all had our own basis idea of like what Luke would do, like
Mm-hmm.
years after, the originals. I think that's what hurt people's expectations of Luke going to this movie because I just let all that go. Like,
Mm-hmm.
kind of, Star Wars ever since I was like, I think I was like 6 or 7 or something like that with the originals. And like, so I think that's the hardest thing. You have to put your like nostalgia goggles off for a second and just really look at the character and understand why are they going through this, like
Mm-hmm.
their development and everything. And I feel like for me, and it made character was in Last Jedi personally, to me, like with everything that, you know, with him, where do I even start? I'm trying, like, there's so many thoughts going in my head, but
I
like,
know.
it's like with the originals, guys, he wasn't always like, the perfect hero we saw of him. He had some of his own darkness in him too that he struggled with.
Mhm.
He was cocky at times, too, and like other things like that. So there's moments of that he had pride and obligation to destroy the darkness when he sensed it. So the moment when we saw Luke going to, you would think kill his nephew at that scene,
Mhm.
the idea of like that pride and that moment of like I have this obligation to destroy the darkness, but that quick flash of him realizing, no, what am I doing? This is my nephew, like, so, but again, it's too late because that's when Ben, and all that happened.
Mhm.
To me, the evolution of his character it really makes sense with what happened, what he did, and with Yoda coming to him one last time and giving him his final lesson of failure and acceptance.
Mhm.
I think for all of us to realize too, as well, like with what Yoda was saying, like, hey guys, I think we should take some notes from what Yoda's talking about. Like, in
Uh,
my personal opinion.
it was just so random though seeing Yoda in The Last Jedi. I was like, wait a minute,
I
what the hell?
I heard rumors. I heard rumors Frank Oz was coming, like on sets, and I was like, Yoda, and I was right, and I started like tearing up because Yoda was always my favorite in the
Mhm.
originals, just like him being this
And he
kooky, like,
burned the Jedi Temple.
and him laughing maniacally, like,
The
it was
last
so
Jedi
good,
books are in there, but then you find out Rey
right?
took them.
She took them, and then Yoda did say there's nothing in those books that the girl does not already possess,
Mhm.
which is interesting. But I feel like again, the evolution of his character at the final scene that we see him in Crate, like or like coming to face his family finally, like his sister Leia, and then
Mhm.
finally his own nephew,
Yeah.
and just finally telling him no one's ever really gone, kind of in a sense of saying like even
Mhm.
to Ben, like be gone now, like physical form, but I'm still with you. We're still family. I'm still going to try to help you, even though I wasn't there for you before, and I'm sorry, kind of thing. Yeah, I personally really liked his character evolution of his character in this
Mhm.
story. But what do you think? I went on and on.
No, no, no. It's all good. That's what we're supposed to do here. Um. With Luke, I mostly agree with you because it's like it. I do see why he would act this way. It's like
Hmm.
I understand why he would have all this anger and darkness to him. Because if you
Hmm.
think about it, the character has been through a lot. Like, a
Yeah.
lot of shit throughout the series.
Yep.
Like, he got his arm cut off, he found out Darth Vader was his father, he found out, like, his nephew
His
was
uncle
gonna be
were
to the dark
burnt
side.
to a crisp, like all this crazy shit. Yeah. Hmm.
Like,
His sister.
his brother-in-law died. It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
well, yeah, I would kind of understand why he would act this way. I mean, he pretty much lost everybody at that point, in a
Yeah.
way. But when he went at the end, when he came to his senses to face off Kylo Ren on his own at Crate, well, even though it was a
Hmm.
hologram, he still kind of faced him in a way of like mind games towards him.
Hmm.
And it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
and I just that was also one of my favorite scenes because it's like Luke is so great. I just want to see him actually fight, but I know we're never gonna get that now since
Hmm.
he's one with the Force now.
Hmm.
So, but seeing him like confront Kylo Ren with his anger issues and stuff like that. My favorite line from Luke actually was when he said, "Strike me down with anger, and I'll always be with you."
Yep.
And like
Yeah.
it's true though to him,
Hmm.
and it's like and you.
Especially his
Wait, go ahead.
especially his final line, "See you around, kid."
Mhm.
Like again, throwing back to Han, but again at the same time makes you wonder, oh, her in episode 9 as a force ghost. Ooh.
I know, right?
Hope. You hope he does, yeah.
But it makes you think though that in a way, Kylo Ren kind of failed
Hmm.
at finding Luke because he still didn't know where he was technically at. It was only a hologram he faced.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Like, yes, he did. If we're throwing back to that sense, yes, he did fail Luke in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Then the idea of like, he still has this darkness and this anger in him. And it's all because before though, when he was with Ray, that, he still has, but he was trying to like, get rid of. But he felt
Mm-hmm.
that light with Ray and he wanted to be with her, just, felt that love and that is to go away. But when she left, all the anger and the darkness finally came back, and that's when we saw him being really brash and like back and him facing his uncle, who, if we remember the last time he saw his uncle tried to kill him, and then he
Yep.
felt betrayed at that moment. Because I think like a lot of people don't really know because in the books that recently came out, been like a predator to Ben ever since he was a baby. I'm not sure if you've read the recent books with Leia, but when Leia was pregnant with Ben, is like going to like in her stomach when she was pregnant with him, trying to like kill him, but in a sense trying to like feed all this darkness to him, and it's kind of implied it was Snoke. The little clues you get a feeling that Snoke has always been in the background of Ben, whispering things to him like you're always alone, you're worth nothing, your parents don't want you, they sent you away to Luke's academy, we don't know why, in a sense maybe because he was developing his Jedi powers, maybe because something happened that we don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
Finally destroyed or just killed Snoke, his life, that predator that's been following him is gone, and it's just
Well,
like you go ahead. What do you
oh,
want to
sorry,
say? Yo.
sorry. But you mentioned that like how said Snoke is
Mhm.
saying to Kylo Ren, "You're alone. Your parents sent you," in a way.
Yeah.
But that's also kind of parallel to Rey in a way too. Like
Yeah, I definitely agree.
but Rey at least has some good in her. Like she knows like what Kylo Ren's doing is wrong, and like he
Hmm.
doesn't want to
Yeah.
be with her, or she doesn't want to be with him.
No, because she knows that he still wants, that darkness of we will rule the galaxy together. But in a way that she realized it's not the right path, though. This is not what I envision us together to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so her friends and everything were in danger. And so it's just like she had to like do what she had to do basically to stop him and leave. And again, we'll probably see in episode 9 them coming back together. Because I agree, if you look at both Rey and Kylo, they're both yin and yang in the sense of the Eastern,
Mm-hmm.
Taoism sense, the yin and yang of both of them. So it is true. Kylo does have more darkness in him. Rey has probably more light in her, but they both have a little bit of the other as well. So they both need to come together in a sense to bring that balance,
Mm-hmm.
um, the Force as well. Because again, trilogy, the Force is kind of unbalanced. Some things are going on, and it's always a cycle every time. I don't know. I just feel like for both of them, yeah, I agree. Kyle has been through a lot. So has Ray, and they both taken it to different ways because they've gone through different experiences. But they both felt that same feeling of loneliness, of no one wanting them, and no one caring for them. But they found each other though in the end, in a sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and it makes for an interesting discussion though, like about those two characters, because in a way you wouldn't think they are alike, but they're more alike than you think they are. But also like yeah, I mean I mean you could say like one way or the other about this movie, it doesn't really matter. But what is it will definitely Last Jedi will definitely bring a lot of discussion into everybody's mindset when somebody mentions it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure.
Like my friends,
Right now, like I could.
yeah, like what I was gonna say is like my friends
Mm-hmm.
all watched
Mm-hmm.
it the same day I did. But I saw it
Mm-hmm.
with my family first, and they saw it separately.
Mm-hmm.
We discussed it afterwards since everybody had seen it at that point, and it was really interesting hearing different opinions because I heard some of my friends enjoyed it, some were very very mixed on it as well,
Mm-hmm.
and it's usually like it does bring interesting discussions though as what's everyone's opinion on it.
Mhm.
Um,
No, I agree. Yeah.
to me personally, The Last Jedi isn't the worst Star Wars film I've seen, but isn't the best I've seen either, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Maybe in a few years I'll rewatch it and then think differently about it.
Hmm.
But for now, I'm still kind of mixed on it. I am a bit more leaning towards the positive side because I did enjoy what I watched. But there were
Hmm.
some things that could have been like either cut out or maybe at least explained a little bit better. Like, if you want me to be
Right.
honest, you could cut out that whole Finn storyline and I wouldn't miss a damn thing.
Did you know what was interesting with the Finn storyline? Apparently, in the art book, I had the art book, but they discussed when they went to Canto Bight. Originally, the idea was, um, to, like they couldn't go into the casino because again, what they're wearing is like they will be noticed. So they went to like a clothing store and like stole the clothes there. So Finn like had a suit and was on backwards for a comedic effect, and Rose was in a dress, and they were kind of pretending that they were like some rich, couple, and then trying to find the code breaker, and that's how they meet. Ah, DJ. That's what I'm remembering. They meet
Benicio del
DJ at a
Toro.
bar when yeah, Bisa Del Toro. They meet DJ at a bar, and he's like, "I heard you're trying to find a code breaker," kind of thing, and that's how it was supposed to be apparently at Canto Bight until they changed it.
Well, let me just
But
say that would have been a lot shorter and
mhm.
better than what we got, honestly.
It was. I know. I was kind of curious too about like the original idea because I'm like, oh, that's super interesting. I would love to have seen that part. Because they would show more of the comedic parts of like Finn being in Canto Bight and being like, whoa, like him gambling and him doing all this stuff that they
Hmm.
cut in the movie. But they were gonna show a lot of that stuff apparently too in the film.
Like, I could tell you that that would have obviously been like a 10 to 15 minute scene instead of like an hour almost.
It was felt like an hour, but it was honestly like yeah, no, it was like probably if all together it's probably 12 to 13 minute scene, I think.
Hmm. But yeah,
I understand,
it was just felt over long at that point. It was like,
Mhm.
okay, you're adding a little too much here, Rianne Johnson. Don't do this.
Yeah, I agree. I think some parts they could have definitely edited some things out or like, could have tightened it a bit.
Hmm.
I feel like that is a scene that everyone does agree. Canto Bite could have been a lot more shorter, could have been changed a bit differently.
Hmm.
And it too.
Yeah. I would like to see more of DJ though in episode 9.
I hope so. He's getting a comic, which I'm really curious to read, but I do hope to see a return of him in some way.
I like what I like about him is that he's neither good nor bad though. Like, he
Yeah.
just cares for money.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Which is like, hey, fine by me.
hey, Benicio del Toro's a great actor, so I wouldn't mind seeing him again.
And it's cool too, because apparently one of his scenes he improved, you find out, oh no, he sold them out, and everything like that. When I forget what Finn says to him, but DJ's like, maybe, and like he walks away.
Hmm.
Apparently he like improv that scene. Apparently it was supposed to be like this like big line that Ryan had.
That's
How about he just
interesting.
says this? And he's like, oh, that's a smart idea. We should do that. And that's how like he said that line. I forget the exact line Finn said before though, but I know DJ said maybe and did like the little shrug.
Well, tells you how much a good actor Del Toro is.
I know, right? Yeah.
But yeah, like I said about The Last Jedi, to wrap things up a bit, I, like I said, I enjoyed it. The more I thought about it, but whatever flaws I had, I still feel like there are flaws in the movie that won't change my viewpoint of them. And it's fine if you loved it or hated it, but I wouldn't say don't attack each other for loving or hating it.
Please don't. Like it's sad if you do. It's like
Hmm.
why? Why would you do that?
Like, I've already seen a lot of
Um,
people do that, and it's disgusting.
I know, right?
Hmm.
Ugh. Especially with like some scenes, like you said, especially the scenes with like Rose, like I've seen a lot of people attacking her character, which I'm like, wrong with her. I actually enjoyed her character, but they're attacking her and the actress, like Hilary
Aww.
Tran. And I like cut the line. I was like, no, fuck you, don't do that. What the fuck is wrong with you folks? Like, why?
Mm-hmm. No,
Right?
that's just fucked up.
Exactly. And like overall, like you said, you could have your own opinion about the film, but just don't be an asshole to
Yeah,
others about it.
don't be an ass.
Hmm. Talk on and on about Last Jedi though, because there's like so many moments that happen. Like we could just go on about and
Hmm.
not think about it.
Yeah, we could honestly like we could
Go
even
on
have
hours on
I don't
them.
know we could have a separate podcast just on that, but since this we're almost already at 2 hours for this thing, so I don't want to keep everybody
Mhm.
here. I don't want to keep you too long here because I'm pretty sure you have stuff to do afterwards. So it's like, yeah, but I think we pretty much hit the main points of what we thought of Last Jedi, personally.
Yep,
Hmm.
I
I
think
would.
so. Yeah, I guess overall, yeah.
I did say in this next question and this same question here about Avengers Infinity
Mhm.
War, but I actually think we discussed enough of it with the Super Bowl uh
Mhm.
first part of it, so I don't think we really need to
Right.
discuss it. I mean, we're all excited for that. There's no doubt about it.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think we could skip that and just go to the last random question I have here that you probably saw and you were like, "What the hell is this?"
I was like, okay.
All right, well, it's just random because I felt obligated to talk about this in a way. I'm curious to see what others are gonna think about it and what you think about this. Do you prefer the Star Wars or Star Trek?
Series as a whole. That's such a hard question. This took me a while to think about, honestly, because I grew up with both of them.
Mm-hmm.
For me, for Star Trek, though, it was mostly Next Generation that I watched a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Deep Space Nine, but mostly Next Gen. And for me, with Star Wars, I mean, I've watched it like mostly all my life. If I think about it,
Mm-hmm.
this is so hard. I think if I had to pick one, I would personally say Star Wars.
Mm.
Line. I love Star Trek, I honestly do. But I think if I think back to my nostalgia glasses and the feelings I had of watching the originals the first time, it would definitely be Wars. Yeah.
Understandable. Like, I honestly would say the same thing because,
Hmm.
look, I respect Star Trek. I really do.
Hmm.
I've never really seen any of them except for a couple of episodes of Next Generation,
Okay.
and Yoshi has been begging me to watch DS9, which I will get to one day. Don't worry, SYT Yoshi. I will promise I'll do that one day. Don't worry.
Oh man.
Um, and don't get me wrong. I respect Star Trek, and I even like their newest movies a lot. And I am really curious of how Tarantino's gonna do his Star Trek film. So
Yeah, 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 yeah.
so
I'm curious too.
so yeah, I do respect Star Trek, and I do like some of Star Trek. But yeah,
Uh-huh.
like I grew up with Star Wars more because I watched the originals so many times as a kid.
Did
Like
you enjoy the prequels at all, though? Like growing up, like did you enjoy them or not really?
when I was young, I'm vaguely remembered the first episode, Phantom Menace.
Hmm.
So I didn't really care too much about that one, honestly. The second one I somewhat remembered, but at the same time I don't.
Yeah.
I remember a little bit more than Phantom Menace, but that's surprising because I know people don't really remember Attack of the Clones. I just remember it for Yoda and Count Dooku, so I thought that was pretty
Okay.
badass when I was a kid.
Sense.
The third one I watched the most as a kid in terms of the prequels, and I actually did enjoy that one a lot.
Hmm.
But I watched them again recently with VGA's commentary track.
Right.
They really don't hold up. They really don't.
No.
Like, it's
No.
sad because I actually liked episode 3, but when I rewatch it, it's like, what the hell is all this? It looks so dated, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's still
I
the best
feel
prequel
you.
in my opinion,
Mhm.
but that's not
Yeah.
saying a lot.
not saying a lot. No, it's not. I mean, I remember the first time I saw episode one in theaters.
Hmm.
I remember I fell asleep halfway through because I was just bored.
It
I
was
remember, which
politics.
is like kind of honestly like I think the only part I remembered really like intensely was the pod racing because again
Hmm.
I
This is pod
I was
racing.
6 when I saw it. Pod racing. It's like, okay, but like I think for me like when I at the same time I remember I watched the originals around the same time as Mao. So again, it
Hmm.
was in '99. So thinking back when I was a kid, like the originals, how different I felt it was, even with episode one.
Hmm.
Like the big differences between the films and like, thinking back to it, like now, like I really enjoyed the originals because again, it was like fairy tale in space, like a ragtag group. It was like mysticism and like you didn't have to explain the force.
Hmm.
I like all these little things here and there, and knowing more about the behind the scenes of like the prequels being made and some scenes that they cut that they could definitely used like with episode 3. I know with Padme's scenes like there was a lot of extra stuff that they could have added to really develop her character a lot more,
Hmm.
but they didn't. So like it's like
Yeah.
prequels are
I mean, there are some you could find some enjoyment with the prequels. Don't get me wrong.
you can, yes. Oh yeah.
There are some certain scenes that I really do love from the prequels. Like I would
Mhm.
argue the lightsaber battles in the prequels are a little bit better than the originals.
Yeah,
But
because of I get how big the scope is. You mean like how
yeah,
big it gets?
and how grand it is, and John Williams' the score as well. It's like
Yeah.
hot damn. Those were my favorite parts of the prequels, but it's just a slog to get through, like
Big
with the
slog.
politics and like midi
I'm trying to
chlorians.
in like so many things, like sand,
I hate
it's rough and
sand.
it gets everywhere.
Ugh,
Oh,
ugh.
you can. I remember when I watched the prequels with a friend, and it was her first time watching because she wanted to watch. It was around when Force Awakens was going to come out, so
Uh-huh.
she wanted to watch all the Star Wars because she never did.
And she,
And I told her if we're going to see the prequels, I have to like get some alcohol. And she's like, "Why?" I had to warn her like you need some alcohol at times, and it helped at moments. Like it helped me laugh through a lot of
Oh
moments.
man.
Mhm.
So be like Fraser and Becky and Deacon, Kyle and Ben, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what it was like. Me and my friend. That's how it felt like we were watching the prequels, and then it got better.
Though I will
And then
say,
she's like, "Oh, this is good."
what Deacon's George Lucas's voice is the best thing ever.
Now it's in my head every time I see like the scroll, like it's like Deacon's voice.
Episode 1, the family.
Show one, Phantom Menace.
Ah.
That's so good.
I could just imagine him watching Last Jedi and saying Episode 8, the Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. Oh man,
Ah.
that's really good.
But yeah, I think that was pretty easy, right? Star Wars.
Yeah, I think so.
Like I said, I respect
Mhm.
Star Trek and I don't diss anything about it. It's just I prefer Star Wars.
Yep, same. I love both, but if I have to pick one, there you go, Star
I have
Wars.
been watching the Orville though. That's the tribute show that Seth Farren is making.
Oh yeah,
That it's super good. Like I really enjoy
heard it's
it.
really good.
Hmm. If you like Star Trek, you'll like the Orville a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I think that's pretty much it, right? That's all we have for today.
yeah, I think so.
Well, that was a lot that we went through today. Lots of news
Yeah.
that came out of today.
Hmm.
But yeah, thank you for joining me at this time. I didn't think we would actually do it, but thank God we did.
Yay! Thank you for having me. I had a great time.
No problem. Next time, hopefully, I'll get you with a couple more people here.
Exciting.
Yeah, I definitely will schedule something up soon, maybe within the next month or so when more news comes out
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So where can they find you on the social media platform?
Okay, so on Twitter, you can find me as Miss Fables. It's S Fable with an S Fables. That's my Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Tumblr as well. My Tumblr is Miss Fable without the S, so just Miss Fable. But that's gonna be private.
All right. Well, I think that's all you have to say for your social.
That's all I got.
All right.
Yep, that's it. I'll just say those two.
Well, you can find me on Twitter, my real name at Sean Lee Rag. Um, that's my Twitter handle. You can find me on Tumblr under GameKid1998 as well. You can find me on here on the YouTube One Take Podcast channel. Make sure to subscribe to here if you want more episodes to come. Again, Miss Fable, thank you so much for joining on this lovely evening, and I hope to see you next time on here.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
No problem, and have a good day, guys. Bye.